Today we go from a noob to a pro with the new Spring Fruit in GPO Update 8. This video took a long ass time to make, so a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So, of course we had to start off with making our character look like Bellamy. And this is the finished product. Then I gave myself some sweet cash. Totally not cheating. And then of course we had to devour that beautiful spring fruit to become the man, the myth, the legend, Bellamy. Don't ask me why, but for whatever reason my outfit did not stay properly. Okay, when I first got in I discovered this fruit had some sick dashes. We then got to doing what we would be doing for the next 50 hours. Bandit beat. After I killed a bandit, the Bandit Boss wanted a piece of the action. So you know what? I gave him a fight he wouldn't forget. Yeah. We don't talk about this moment ever again. You got that? After I completed my first quest, I leveled up, gaining some skill points. I then put 5 of those points into Devil Fruit, unlocking our first move. It basically just wraps some springs around your body, which at first glance doesn't look too impressive, but it is OP. Our M1 damage goes from 4 to 9, making an increase of 5 damage, which is insane. Next up on our rise to power, we tackled the Bandit Boss yet again. This time it went a lot better, and we even got the Bandit eye patch first try. Talk about some insane luck. We finally hit level 15, which is the level you can go to the next island at. I put in all the stat points I'd gained and then went on a shopping spree. I purchased the caravel for 2000 pelly and the hammer for a measly 100 pelly. We then got a quest from Haku to deliver a bucket of water to Sandora. Now this is when I encountered the problem with having a devil fruit but no Geppo. I finally figured out how to spawn my ship, but then this happened. After respawning and running back to the docks with a successful dash, we landed on the ship and headed to Sandora. For whatever reason, I completed the quest but still had the bucket. Oh well, free water for me I guess. Then we got back to the terrific gameplay of GPO, bandit beating. Once we finally hit level 25, I put in all my stats gained and unlocked a new move. We then got a quest from Rave to deliver his letter to Dave. After successfully landing on my boat first try, we headed to Shellstown. Once we made it to Shellstown, we spoke to Dave. Got the Eternal Post from Bomi for 1000 pelly and set our spawn. We then also went and bought the Galleon for a whopping 15,000 pelly. We then took Robert's quest and started beating up some corrupted marines. Once we finally hit level 40, I put in all the stat points gained except for 20, you will find out the reason why later. When I tried to head to the next island, I encountered a problem. There was no way I was getting on that ship without Geppo, so I went back to the smaller ship and made my way to the Bravatier. Once I made it to the Bravatier, I set my spawn, bought the Eternal Pose for 1250 pelly, and spoke to Yomi to get Blackleg. Now this is why I saved 20 stat points so I could use them to unlock Geppo. I got the quest from the chef with no name and started leveling. It was at that point I realised this might have been a mistake because I kept dying. Again, and again. So once I completed the quest, I hopped on my boat and headed to the island of Zoe. Once I made it to Zoe, I bought the Eternal Potion Bomi for 1750 Pelly and set my spawn. I then took the quest from Zen and started beating through Zoe inhabitants. After I hit level 50, I put in some stat points. More stats. And more stats. Stats! Once I finally hit level 105, it was time to leave Zoe. I put in all the skill points I had left and unlocked 2 more moves on Devil Fruit. I then hopped on my main account and headed to Cory Island to get Buso Haki. I got the log post from Bomi for 4000 Pelly. And got the Haki quest from Ray for a whopping 25,000 Pelly. Using my main account, I aggroed all the Yetis and hit them with the Z move for spring. Once I had killed 50 Yetis, I hopped back on my coffin boat and headed to Skypier. Once I was there, I got the log post from Bomi for 2000 Pelly and set my spawn. I then got the quest from Vigo and started defeating some Sky District bandits. Usually you would do this quest to level 110, but I thought it gave good enough XP that I would do it to level 120. Once I was level 120, I got the quest from Zen and started defeating some castle guards. I then AFK'd Haki for a little bit using Tiny Task to try and get my damage up. Once I hit level 160, it was time to leave Skypier. I put in all my stat points I had left and headed to Gravito's Fort. Once I was at Gravito's Fort, I bought the Eternal Pose for 2200 Pelly and set my spawn. I then got the quest from Miska and started defeating Gravito Undermen. Once I was level 190, it was time to leave Gravito's Fort. I put in all the stats I had gained and then made my way to Fishman Island. Once I made it to Fishman Cave, I bought the log post from Bomi for 3000 Pelly and bought the bubble from Brad for 2000 Pelly to make sure that I didn't drown. I then had to navigate Fishman Maze, which luckily I had done so many times already, I knew it off by heart. Once I was on Fishman Island, I then set my spawn. I got the quest from Becky and started what was probably the hardest and most time consuming part of this entire video, beating up some Fishman Karate users. I was on this island for about 4 or 5 hours. It was not a very pleasant experience at all. Once I had finally hit level 325, it was time to leave. I had so many stat points left, so I put them in first. I then went on a journey to get the World Scroll so that I could go to Second Sea. This n***a then opened up the gate for me, which was very kind of him. Once I had finally made it to 2nd sea, I spoke to RVK, who gave me some sort of gay ass flag. I then delivered that to the Desert Kingdom and gave the flag to Snake Owner. I then set my spawn and bought the Eternal Pose from Bomi for 5,000 Pelly. I then went to Thriller Bark and started defeating some zombies. Once I finally hit level 425, it was time to leave. I put in all the stat points I had gained and then made my way to Dressrosa. Once I was at Dressrosa, I bought the log post for 5,000 Pelly and then set my spawn. I then started defeating some crazy wolves for the last part of this video. Once I hit level 475, I thought to myself, I think it's about time we get some drip and fully become Bellamy. Look at it, we're looking badass now, aren't we? And there we go, we finally hit max level. We then put our stats in for the very last time and said goodbye to this account, as we were now done.